Hi Mukesh, hi guys. Okay, Kelsey, just push that request to join in live button. You will see under. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, guys, and we are live. Guys, say hello to her. She's one of
Hi.
my friend, total band, and very experienced. So, guys, if you have any question, please ask. Ask her. She will be done answering the question. I will start with warm up and workout little bit. And guys, follow me for the workout. And if you have any question, just type it. Don't worry about that. She will read and answer. Okay. So let's go. Let's start rotating shoulders forward. And shoulders backwards, guys. How are you doing there? All good?
Yeah, still in lockdown, but it's day by day.
Yeah, we can see it only in the
Yeah.
news. I think USA is in a bad condition right now. Death toll went over 70, I think 70,000, right?
Yeah, it's up to 70-ish. Um, yeah, not great.
Yeah,
It's really sad.
and
Hopefully we're seeing a little bit of a downturn. Things are starting to open up a little bit. Beaches and but it's unfortunately, as everyone sees, the leading in death, and it's just crazy, but I think we're trying to do the best we can.
yeah,
Missing
that's the
jujitsu.
thing. We have to do it in any way. It's not going to go away soon, right? So we have to learn to live with it somehow.
Oh, for sure. And all the gyms, it's really sad. Some of the small gyms aren't gonna make it. They're struggling, and people that do jujitsu have been doing it for so long. It's obviously a passion of theirs, and they're at their house trying to do their best. But stuff like this, but
That's good. That's
trying
good
to
that
stay
you
in
made
shape.
a little bit of a, yeah. Guys, follow me. Let's do a little bit warm up and then we'll deal with question answers. Guys, if you have any question, feel free to type it. She will read and she will answer by the time. So, how your workout looks like these days? Are you working out or how you cope, coping with the corona situation, training and all,
Me,
especially the technical stuff?
specifically, I'm doing some Zoom classes with my gym. My gym is I'm in Northern Virginia. So hello to everybody. Northern Virginia, in the United States. And we have rotating kids classes, and we have adult classes. So I was in our main instructor, our black belt, putting those on. It's been really good. It's of course limited because we can only listen and mirror what he's doing in the screen like you're doing. But it's all we can do. So that's what I've been doing some of the days, not as much as I had wanted to, because I also have a pretty strict workout schedule for my job. But I run and I do body weight exercises and push-ups, sit-ups. A lot of what you did yesterday, honestly, I kind of doubled up, but it was really good. The lunges, the different types of push-ups, the animal walks, the movements on the ground, like you were showing the duck walk. And that's really good because those help for jiu-jitsu too, but also strengthen your legs and, you know, even stretch and work out muscles you haven't used in a while because of quarantine. So really just stuff like that. And I'm supposed
Just
to be
wait for the day when.
I know. Eating is one of the biggest problems I've seen so far. Like, we try to go to the grocery store once a week. Sometimes we try to make it last twice. And a lot of the produce, the meat section is hit hard, or some of the butter and the eggs. So things are limited, and trying to eat well during this time is problematic because a lot of people are buying takeout, lots of takeout. So
Yeah, that's true.
so trying to work that off, but also, you know, not, you know, every so often a little bit is fine, but it's come to a point where since things are shut down and, you know, you just sit in your house, and I've been watching too much TV. That's definitely true.
Yeah, I think that's, guys, keep going side to side. That's the same thing everybody is doing, healthy, eating and watching things and all. And again, it's okay. We have to pass our time somehow, but
We do. I've been
okay.
trying to keep reading books. I had even some of my friends from jiu-jitsu ask for book suggestions, and I always tell if they're asking for a jiu-jitsu book, the one I read, and I loved it. I read it every single page. It was called From White to Blue. You can buy it off of Amazon, and I really, really enjoyed that one. It's written well. It's got a lot of technique, but like, it's not boring, which is kind of cool. But
So one of my friend is asking how you escape Kiss of the Dragon.
how I escaped. Oh, that one. Oh man, Kiss the Dragon. I like that one. So really fun short story is a lot of people call it something different, but Kiss of the Dragon first. So what they call it, I can't even remember what they call it. But escape, I think that once they start to pull you to your back, you can go one of two ways. You can go forward and try to do like a runaway escape. But man, once you're starting to be pulled from your belt down into the back position, I mean, it's a pretty bad place to be. I would almost say if you're already in that position, start working your basic back escape immediately. Trying to get to your side without the choking arm, the weak side, shoulders on the mat, trying to get your leg over top of the attacker's leg, and then trying to escape that way. Man, yeah, Kiss the Dragon. That's a good first question. It's not a good place to be, but it's a fun one to do to someone else.
Yeah, it's the same thing. No, like it's with the flexible guys like hell to escape that thing. It's not that easy thing.
It's not easy. Well, especially in the gi. The gi, you have your grips, and you can keep hold of the belt or the back part of the gi, and yeah, it's not ideal, but you know, I'd have to look that up. I mean, that's a pretty complicated move. I'd have to see. I'm sure there's a more eloquent escape, but I think that I just try to start with a back escape because you're already there. You know. I think a reverse De La Hiva, that's also to escape it. Like if you're in it, if you're trying to pass, I mean, you always can try to push down and crunch the lead leg of the person, and start a reverse De La Hiva pass. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, but you can always lower your body and balance.
Maybe you can stand up and go a little bit behind and show them with the movement.
Yeah, well,
if that's okay with
no,
you.
that's fine. It'd be hard to show without someone. Like, I have my Goku pants on. Yeah.
That's okay.
So, gosh, this phone. I've never gone live before, so you have to work with me. But
Yeah.
yeah, reverse De La Hiva. Yeah, this is gonna be hard to show. I was just gonna say that the leg that the De La Hiva is on, you can push down and just get crouching into your combat base. I mean, it's all about balance with De La Hiva. You don't want the hook to be hooked onto your leg, so you want to get the hook out of that leg and push down. So yeah, without someone else, it'd be hard to show you. But yeah, to clamp down and collapse the reverse De La Hiva. Reverse De La Hiva is really used for stopping the knee cut pass. So essentially, if you destroy that hook, you can go right into an underhook with your right hand and try to start a knee cut pass, or just back up, try to start another pass. But that's
So the fun fact, the guy who's asking this both question, he is the one actually who's doing both of things with us, on us. So he's trying to figure out how we are escaping.
Oh, how we're escaping. I see. That's good. That's actually good, because that's what you should do. I love that. That was always my question in class. If I was trying to do moves to other people, I wanted to know, hey, how did they get out of this? How did they destroy what I'm trying to do so that I can do it better? So yeah, in that case, try to keep your hook in and as strong as possible. Use your framing to stay on your side and to hold, especially if you're in gi, the lapels. But yeah, I don't play a lot of reverse De La Hiva, actually. It's just not my favorite. And in fact, I'll do it to stop the knee cut pass, but then I'll switch to another guard. So, and it's going to vary with each person you ask. I mean, like anything else. But if someone starts to beat it, I would switch open guard, maybe go to butterfly, single X, or X guard, one of my favorites. So I would just switch it up if you're having trouble. But yeah, that's a good one. I just don't play it quite as much. Let's see if anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, girls, if you have a question, this is the time to ask.
That's awesome. You have 16 people.
Yeah, most of them came here just to watch you, you know.
Oh no, no, you're welcome. Yeah, I had to apologize earlier. I'm not as technical savvy as I guess I thought I was, and I didn't even know that you could do this to work out. But I'm really glad that I at
That's
least got
okay.
to say hey to everybody.
Not that hard of a thing. So what about the drawing thing? Is it still going on, or you stopped drawing just because you are taking pictures right now?
So say that one more time. My internet, I do apologize, is pretty bad. So if I've stopped
No,
training.
I'm asking what about the drawing thing?
Oh, drawing.
Are you still drawing?
Yes,
or?
I still draw.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in here right now. I've been really working on photography. Yeah, if anyone wants to check it out, I'm really into it, really passionate about it. I love jiu-jitsu. We try to incorporate a lot of jiu-jitsu into the photography. We haven't so much lately because we've been in lockdown. But I used to draw. I mean, I still draw. I used to put it up online, but it was getting too difficult to maintain two different accounts. So I merged them together because I also am very passionate about photography. So that's what he's asking about. I used to have an account, and I would put up drawings, but I still put them in my stories, though it's been a while. You don't have any questions? That's okay.
She's a 8-year-old girl.
Oh.
So one of my
hi.
students.
That's awesome that you're joining us. That's so cool. Keep going. Keep doing jiu-jitsu. I could talk about it all day. It's really changed my life too, and I've been doing it for almost 5 years. So I just got my purple belt last November in no-gi, and then I got my purple belt, it was a couple months ago. It was like right before the lockdown, actually. So my gi belt is actually still really, really, really new and hard to wear. So yeah, my gym, it's a little confusing. I see your face. Our gym does 2 different programs, so I didn't get them at the same time. But it was kind of cool because I had to do the gauntlet twice.
Yeah, I wanted to ask also same thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
This because I usually we are seeing or hearing the same thing that you got promoted only once, but just now you said that I got confused also. Like gi and no gi is different there.
Yeah, and I think that's cool when people do that. I mean, it's cool either way, but I really enjoyed the aspect of like no-gi has its differences. There's no doubt. Like there's no grips. There's certain guards you can't do. Certain chokes, obviously, you can't do. So I do more no-gi than I have gi overall. I'm pretty close, but I still do more no-gi, and I enjoy it more. I think it's faster and like it's more fun to me. I like the leg locks. I always try to go for those in competition. Knee bar is my favorite, though I did hit a heel hook in competition once. But yeah, I got my no-gi, and it's a separate program, and I think that's really cool when schools do that because it really breaks it down and shows the differences and makes you work for it. Makes you work for learning in 2 different kind of mindsets. It's similar, but there's enough differences to where I thought that it was awesome that I had to prove myself twice. Hello from Italy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's getting...
And I love no-gi more too. Yes, there you go. That's right. No-gi is best. Don't tell my coach that.
It's always like that with everyone. I think for me personally, I always like the gi part better.
Okay, and
I was in the starting I was injured, so I was not able to move so much. So in that way, I can at least hold down the person
and I like that. I go
reduce his movement.
Yeah, I go back and forth because gi has its cool. I mean, you can't choke anybody with your no-gi closed. So there's kind of a power and kind of a really really awesome feeling to have someone and choke them with their own or your own lapel. So I go back and forth. It's a lot of it gets hot. It gets hotter. Kimura details. Oh my gosh, I've been hitting Kimuras. Sorry, this turned into more of a question.
Let's go second round. By the time she's answering the questions, second round.
So
you can answer the question. I'm just going for the second round.
Okay. Okay. I didn't want to interrupt. Perfect. No, that's awesome. Perfect. Kimuras. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I have been hitting those a lot lately. At first, I'm a small female. I'm around 130 pounds. So when I first started, I actually didn't do a lot of Kimuras because I'm typically the smallest one in my gym. And to hit it on a bigger individual, it's still difficult. But I think that I grew to think that it just didn't work well. I thought, oh, well, maybe I'm just not going to do Kimura. Well, I started really working it. First, I practiced with doing it as a sweep. So a detail that I really, really enjoyed was from the bump sweep where you're coming up and over, where you're lifting your hips. And I really wish we could do it and I had a partner and I would show you. But the bump sweep up and around, and I would just grab it and hold it. Well, they can either go one of 2 ways. You can lock it up and you can finish the Kimura, or you can sweep them. So I would really, really turn it into a sweep at first, and then it opened up everywhere. I was looking for Kimuras all over the place. Guard, looking for them, side control. I would try to get the Kimura grip from back. I really like the crucifix. I know that's getting a little more complicated, but I would even get the Kimura grip from there. And I understand the Kimura grip's not the same thing as the Kimura, but I'm just saying the grip and the Kimura is all over the place. So another small detail that I didn't think about was the torque that happens with your shoulder. So whenever it's locked up, pull the shoulder out. So pretend someone had a Kimura on me right now. I would pull it out and then up or then back. So really working with the angle has really helped me, because it's hard to finish sometimes. But like I said, it's even if it's hard to finish, use it to sweep, use it to control them. No one likes to be in a Kimura hold, even if you're not tapping them. You can freak out, and then you can get the pass, or you can get the sweep. I know that might have been more than you had asked for, but I do. That's Kimura has been one of my favorites lately. And it's such a small detail move. Very, very small movements, enough to hurt the shoulder.
But all small details are the best one, or necessary, you can say, right?
Oh yeah, pulling it out. I think that was the biggest one. Pulling it out and then back has really, really helped. Just trying to keep it tight. It's a that's a good one. I like Nogi more too. Yeah. That might have been the same one. Oh, I use it as submission threat. Oh, for sure. Submission threat, those are the best. That'll open up for other submissions. I also like the Kimura pass, where you put you have your knee, you get your knee in first, and you kind of you go for the Kimura and jump over them. You almost end up doing a flip. You gotta be careful practicing on people, because you can sometimes land on them. But I've hit that a few times in competition. And even if I didn't quite get it, if I get a hold of the Kimura and then they freak out and I end up getting a pass. So that is good too. And you're welcome, of course.
So, any other questions, right? Ask.
Submission.
So tell me, by the time other questions are coming, tell me, do you remember the first sketch you made for me, the leg lock one? You remember?
The first steps for what?
First sketch drawing you made for me.
Oh, your drawing. Oh man, that wasn't a very good one. I'm not very good with people, but I tried. I put my heart into it. And it was a heel hook, right?
Yeah, heel hook, and I wasn't also that much experienced that time, so I had like same side RC. Both legs were one side, I think, and some of your friend asked like, why is not hiding his leg, right? And
oh
said,
yeah. Yes, that was really funny. Yes, I do draw. I'm not very good at drawing people, but I try. But heel hooks, I like to draw jiu-jitsu stuff, so it's probably laying around here somewhere.
Do you still have that? Do you still have that portrait?
Oh, do I still have it? Yeah, I probably do. I don't know where it's at. I have all my art in like a folder. Actually, I'll try to see if I can find it. It might be right here. Everybody bear with me. I have an art room. It's a little messy, but I probably have it. You guys can't judge me. It's not very good.
Just show us your art room.
Oh, I'll show you the art. This is the art room right now. It's just a table full of stuff. But I have a folder that has some of my work in it, so I can show you that while we're. Yeah, so like I have.
That's cool. Let's
see.
Oh, that's nice.
Hold on, I'll take it out. So here's a. Oh, so that's I forget.
As boxers walk.
That's a takedown I like to do. I'm not good
What?
at names. I don't know the name of the takedown. Umamachi maybe? Or
What's that movement? It's supposed to be a takedown
Yes,
or what?
it was a takedown. This is one of my favorites. The kids might like that one.
Oh, that I remember that
Yeah.
one. That was really
I'll put it
funny
in
one.
the light. It needs a new. No, it has a purple belt. I was gonna say it needs a new belt, but she's.
It's still cool. So.
I'm trying to find yours. Oh no. So we might be moving. That's why all my stuff is kind of messy.
That's okay. Take your time. We are finishing this round by the
Yeah.
Let's go this side.
Oh, that one's kind of scary. I would draw animals and geese.
Oh, that was cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, I got some hearts on that one. Thank you. It's an honor.
You should post it on Insta also.
Oh my! Yeah, I know. This is making me I was gonna draw that. That's not mine, but it's
And what about
Oh,
have you ever tried?
this is Goku. This is Gordon.
Oh, that I remember that
Yeah.
one. That was really
I'll put it
funny
in
one.
the light. It needs a new. No, it has a purple belt. I was gonna say it needs a new belt, but she's.
It's still cool. So.
I'm trying to find yours. Oh no. So we might be moving. That's why all my stuff is kind of messy.
That's okay. Take your time. We are finishing this round by the
Yeah.
Let's go this side.
Oh, that one's kind of scary. I would draw animals and geese.
Oh, that was cool. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, I got some hearts on that one. Thank you. It's an honor.
You should post it on Insta also.
Oh my! Yeah, I know. This is making me I was gonna draw that. That's not mine, but it's
And what about have you ever tried?
This is Goku. This is Gordon Ryan as Goku. Kind of see him.
No, I think mine looks way cooler.
I know. I'm trying to find it. Let's see. Oh, this is Craig Jones. Heel hook.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's with the nice detail.
Yeah, I'm not very good at people, but I'll show you.
Who's the other guy? Vinny?
Does anybody like Dragon Ball Z?
Oh, that's. I think so many people likes Dragon Ball Z. So.
Yeah. And then after that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. This is someone in a triangle. That's me at the bottom and I'm going Super Saiyan, I guess. Oh, yours is around here somewhere.
Nice drawing, but with triangle.
What?
But where is the angle?
The angle?
No, I'm asking. Nice drawing with the
An angel. I don't remember. An angel?
No, not the angel. Not the angel. Angle.
Oh, drawing.
Angle to finish the triangle.
Oh yes, I finished the triangle. Triangle used to be my favorite submission. I got some fun with triangle. Used to be my favorite submission. I love the triangle. I haven't done. I used to hit it in competition. I used to hit it in competition all the time, but then I stopped hitting it because I realize now all about the angle. And I think that's what you're saying. Your feet need to be on this side, and I was not doing that. And another thing that people forget is once you have it locked up, and if someone's defending the triangle, you can put your fist here on the other side. I don't mean punch them, but hold it there, and it will cut off on the other side. It's a little sneaky trick that I didn't think about in a competition once, and I might have won. And in my defense, I lost that one, but.
So there you go. One student is asking that.
Oh, some more details.
Nice.
I didn't see that. So with the triangle, I really try to. So it depends on where you're talking about. If you're trying to set it up, it's tricky to set up because you want them to know what you're doing. You obviously want one arm in, one arm out. And some of my favorite ways to get to the triangle is actually from guard having an overhook, because people are not expecting a triangle. If you have an overhook, they think that you're going to go for an armbar. They think that you're going to go for an omoplata. But I like to try to wait for them to try to pass, and I will swing my leg up and kind of like launch a triangle, kind of a quick kill triangle. And the first thing I want to do is put my this would be so much easier if I had someone with me. But you want to put your foot into their hip, and then you want to grab your own shin with your other hand. You're in diamond guard. Once you've locked that part up, you want to swing so that you are perpendicular to the person. You want to get that nice angle, and at that point you can let go of your hand. If you're in gi, you want to get a nice deep grip with the collar. I like that because it keeps it tight here. Then you want to lock your feet up, but you actually want to turn your feet away. A lot of people keep it. Let's see. Yeah, it's so hard to talk about without doing it.
You need something like that. I can show you.
Yeah.
So tell me if I'm doing it
Oh
wrong.
no, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah.
So if I put it here,
Yeah,
I
push and pull, exactly.
Up,
Yes, you want to hold that.
this,
Push over, get the angle. Hold tight, and then this is where yeah, exactly, and you can pull down on the head if you want. It gets a little more tight that way, but yeah, it's all about the angle. People forget. They try to finish the triangle straight on with someone, and you just can't do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. You can get it sometimes, but you really want to pull yourself the angle that he just showed. Yeah, that was
so he came with the follow-up question. Read that one. He came with the follow-up question also. Same guy.
He said, can you please show the and how to use them against Sir more efficiently? Is that what you Exactly. Yes, you have to be sneaky with the triangle, because people automatically know when they don't want one arm in, one arm out. That's dangerous. But yeah, if you push, pulling away, and you finally get to diamond guard, so it's almost, you're trying to set up your triangle, man, you start right away pushing your foot into the other hip and moving your butt, moving to the diagonal. You want to be in that angle. That is all about the angle.
That's true.
Hello, good. Yes. I love triangles. It's a very complicated move. It's one of the first things people learn, but it's a lot of steps, and just take your time. People are going to bust out of triangles at first because you're not going to be smooth and efficient if you're a beginner, and I don't know everybody's experience level, but and if you have to give up the triangle, that's fine. Switch to an arm bar. If someone's starting to get out of it, you can grab the arm that you have and swing your leg over into an arm bar. So I do that a lot as well. Going back and forth, drill going from triangle to arm bar. That's a really good one. And then you can throw an omoplata in there. I'm not trying to blow. If you're advanced, those three can be interchangeable. And no, I like that series.
And one more student from Facebook, she is asking what should be the main focus in the starting, like as a beginner for girls,
yes.
what should be the main focus in the
Oh,
jiu-jitsu?
that's such a good question. I get this all the time, and I love this question. If you are starting out and you're new, I think the best thing to think about is already understand that you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be overwhelmed because you picked a sport that's so amazing and there's so many things to learn. So don't get overwhelmed by how much information that is pushed toward you. I would suggest writing down after every lesson, even if you don't write down everything, write down some of the details you remember, even if they seem insignificant. I kept a journal. Not everyone has to do this. It's just work for me. But I kept a journal from white belt all the way to blue belt. I still keep it a little bit. I've been kind of slack with purple belt, but I would suggest working on breathing. That is one of the biggest things I can tell people. You're going to freak out. I still freak out sometimes. If you have to take a break, take a break. Don't feel bad. It's so different. It's so different than you normally, humans walk around on 2 feet. Humans don't typically wrestle. That's not something that comes naturally. So your body has to have time to get used to it. So I think breathing is the most important, even to this day, thing that I tell beginners. Don't freak out. And if you do freak out, just calm yourself down, take really deep breaths, and know that you're a beginner. Take it slow. Like, a lot of people get very upset, very frustrated when they can't get a move. I've done these moves, and I'm only a purple belt, and I've done these moves thousands of times, and I still can't get them right sometimes. So I like to tell people, don't worry. You're going to do it wrong over and over. You're going to do it wrong for a year, probably. And not necessarily completely wrong. I'm just saying it's not going to be super smooth. So I think that you should just keep it positive and really enjoy it. I would go back and be new again. It's just so fun. So yes, that in a very, trying to keep it short because I'm a talker. Try to breathe, keep calm, and write stuff down. Yeah. And I don't know if she heard me, but a book I suggested earlier is called From White to Blue. It's on Amazon. I'd have to look up who wrote it, but it's called From White to Blue, and it's a really good beginner intro book and really talks about the struggles. I like that one a lot. So,
so let's move on to the next one. Reverse cartwheel.
How to escape the triangle effectively. Oh boy, that's a hard one. Our coach always talks about having the hand up next to one of the legs, trying to wedge in. You can, sorry, I'm trying to get my cat from, go on, kitty, go on.
Well, that's the very important detail people used to forget.
Oh.
So what you are telling, that's a really important one. I remember that.
People forget that. You want to wedge your hand. You want to try to move even a little bit of space is ideal. It's awesome. Even a little bit of space. But another thing you want to do is you can get up and try to stack them. There's that's always good. You don't want to fall in the direction they want you to fall in. So you want to turn toward their lock. So you want to get up, and you can even put your knee on their stomach as you're trying to wedge your hand. Because I've even had experience with a triangle that wasn't quite locked up. If you put pressure on them, now they can still get it. If you stand up and stack them, they can still get the triangle. But if you have your hand there, and even with the gravity is your best friend. You can have them become looser and looser with their triangle because they're having to really struggle to keep their lock on, which is hard because I've been in that position too. You'll burn yourself out. If you get to a point where they're not tapping you within 10, 15, 16, 17 seconds, they don't have it. So really fight your way out of it. Keep pressure on their lock, and turn. You can stack. I would advise looking up the triangle stack escape. That's one of my favorites. There's a few other funny ones where you can fall back and wrap your feet around them. That one doesn't always work. Sometimes they come to mount, but sometimes you get out of the triangle. So, you know, out of the fire into another fire. But I would suggest the stack, keeping pressure on the lock, keeping your hand up, and not freaking out, because when you have legs around you, you start to think that, you know when you're ready to pass out, tap. But if you freak out, you're going to start breathing heavy and you're going to end up being in a worse position. So those are my little small details. I kind of combined a few, but those are my 3 favorites. And yeah, once you're out, go for that pass. Go for the kill, because their legs are going to be beat. So tired.
True. And the next one is, how do you escape from reverse scarf hold?
Reverse scarf hold. So as a small female, I do not play scarf hold or reverse scarf hold very often, but I do get put in it pretty often because bigger guys tend to like that position. Let's see, scarf hold. I guess my favorite would be to get your elbow down and you want to shrimp out so that you have more leverage with your legs. Yeah. And then you can bridge and bump. Sometimes that works, because then you can just completely get out and reverse the position. That's only going to work if someone's your same size. And I like to talk about that because as a small female, I have to, and I'm sure people are listening that are females, or even if you're not, even if you're in any female, we're not as strong and we're not. It's something we have to be more technical and agile, and a lot of times we're more flexible, so we have to use that to our advantage and really launch our legs over. Scarf hold's like a waiting game. I'm really patient in scarf hold. I really protect my arms because I don't want them to do the scarf hold Kimura or Americana there, which sometimes people grab, or armbar. So shrimping, making space, and using your legs to come out. If they're not doing the traditional, if it's just the hand over the head, you can sometimes sneakily take their back. I've done that. I'm kind of flexible. I can wrap my legs around and I can pop my head out of their hold, and then that's always fun. So yeah, again, it's hard to not show with with somebody, but those are my favorite details from that exercise. Yes.
Cool. And how to stop my partner from going Kimura to Americana on my other side, like far side.
Far side. How to stop them, man. I mean, I think it's all about keeping your elbows in. I'm not saying that's going to stop it completely, but keeping a good frame, keeping your elbows in. I'm pretty squirrely, so I always talk about really pushing and using your frame. I'm imagining you're talking about from side control. So you want to go into where you have both of your hands from side under you, so that they're really tight, and then you can use that if they're on top to really push, kind of the dump truck method, because if you don't have this frame here and they're going to be on top of you here, this is hard to push off. You can't. This is going to crush you. But if you get your arms in on side control, they're not going to easily be able to Americana you, and then you'll be able to, we call it stone squirrel at our school, but you'll be able to lift their body weight much easier when they're on your forearms. So keeping it tight. If they get the Kimura, I mean, that's a bad spot to be in. There's escapes, but I think that trying to prevent that from side control and trying to get out of side control as fast as possible is always my go-to. Oh, sorry, we kind of took over the exercise, but this is good. This was fun. There's a lot of questions from same position, reverse scarf.
She can be like that sometimes. I told you she's a
no, that's
8-year-old kid, so
I know, that's so cute.
She doesn't care so.
Yeah, we have.
She doesn't care so much about the technique stuff. She just wants to exercise.
Yes. Oh, she needs to keep doing it too. I wish that I would have started. You said 8, right? I wish I would have started young. I know everyone says that, but man, it's. Good for everything, mental, physical. That's awesome. You go. You said it was a little girl. You go, girl.
Yeah, she's saying, yeah, I'm very
Yes.
funny.
Hi. I'll see her as a world champion
So,
one day, right?
we hope so.
Yeah.
We hope so. If she will stuck with us long enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's really strong. She's really strong, and like she can move really
Oh,
well.
that's awesome.
But that's the thing, with the kids. Sometimes with the age changing hormones and all, they just lose interest.
I know. We have a lot of kids at our school, and it's really awesome. I don't know how many of you all, I think we have 14 people, have children, but man, it's really good to get them in there. And they're so good. They're like little savages. They're little warriors. They're hard to get off. They're stronger than you give them credit for. It's great.
And so much energy,
So much energy. Oh, I like techniques. I do too.
And
that's something that a lot of people want to just roll. They just want to roll. I just want to do this. I want to work out. All of it is good. They all have their positives. It's all has its place in jiu-jitsu. But man, really, really working on technique and getting that detail down. Drilling. People don't want to drill. I have people at my gym. They're like, oh, let's just do this. Let's just do that. And I'm like, you know what? We will at the end of class. And but man, to get a technique down, you have to really do it over and over. And if it's your favorite, I like to pick one per month and just practice that. Just go in your role and say, you know what? One time I'm going to get that one move. If it's Kimura, I'm going to look for Kimuras. If it's triangle, I'm going to look for triangles and just focus on that one, because you'll get better at each one individually, and then you can add on to it.
So the kid who's asking this question, I like the technique and all. He is also an 11-year-old kid, and he is also very dedicated.
Oh, that's awesome!
He just won ADCC India gold medal. He was merged with another category. The other kid there was 3 other kids in his division. So 2 of them were, I think, 5 or 7 kg heavier than him.
Oh, that's so good.
They were around like 60 kg.
Oh, congratulations. That's great.
But he still played really well.
So.
Okay, so there you go. One more question from my other student.
How to escape from back with body triangle. Oh, body triangles, those can be bad. I don't like those sometimes. They get really tight. I would really focus on, I keep talking about triangles, the lock. The lock is the most important part. Escaping a body triangle, you have to focus on maneuvering your legs in a way and scooting your body toward the lock. So you want to be pressure on that lock. You want to move your legs. Sometimes I take my far leg and scoop their leg, and I pull it back, so it puts pressure on their foot. It actually hurts their foot, their lock. It hurts their foot, so it starts to peel it off. So you have to really focus on peeling off their lock. Don't freak out. It's really tight. But the problem with the body triangle is they don't have quite as much, even though it seems like they have a lot of control, they don't have quite as many, they only have control on one side and not both. So I would fall to the lock side. I would put pressure on the foot, and I would still keep my hands. You want to keep your hands. You never want to go down and try to pick the foot off. It seems like that's a good thing to do, but it is not. You want to keep your hands up here. You don't want to be choked. And it's kind of a waiting game. I have to be squiggly and move around. You want to kind of scoot and fall further down, your butt on the mat, and your shoulders a little bit further down, so that it just puts pressure on their hips. And that's my favorite one to do for that. So.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and we have to take always that leg which is closing the body triangle towards the ground, right? So in that way, we can put more pressure.
Exactly. I know. Lots of jiu-jitsu questions. That's so awesome. Those are more questions than I thought I'd have. Thank you, guys.
It's like that always. Indians are so good at asking
That's
questions.
awesome. A lot of that's
They can make it.
yeah. That's really good. It really is awesome to be able to try to answer these, because I don't always get such detailed questions. It's really good. Those are very meaningful, and it's a lot of escapes and trying to escape, which is awesome, because a lot of folks really want to focus on, how do I submit somebody? How do I submit somebody? But it's really cool and refreshing to I really want to learn how to get out of this, or to do a sweep, or to know how to defend myself, because even more than finishing an armbar or finishing a Kimura, if you learn to escape all of the positions, that really gives you the confidence, especially as a kid. And I always, of course, talk about it as a perspective as a female, because I am, but it's like, for self-defense purposes. You'd really want to learn how to defend yourself. And part of defending yourself is getting out of bad positions. I mean, you'd hope to never use it. You'd hope to never need to get out of the positions. But getting out of back, getting out of mount, getting out of, it's a really powerful thing and confidence builder, especially for young kids to be able to do. So that's really cool that so many questions were about that. That's not gonna.
That's the thing.
A lot of people don't like
let
to let go. A lot of people want to hold on to it. Don't hold on to it. Just let go. He said, "Of course, that's my coach."
I don't let them open hand. I squeeze it like that. I don't want to.
No, that's
let
true. I've had people do
hand.
that too, so that you keep them on there. Yeah. It's so sometimes it's not easy to let go, but try your best to create space and let go.
It's just like that, no? You gave me something on the platter, so why did I refuse it?
It is. That's why. It's a good one. It's a good one on both sides. I've only almost passed out, and I've never passed out, so knock on wood somewhere. I've been lucky. I haven't passed out, but I came close. And the one time I came close was that exact move. I went for a guillotine. Someone grabbed my hand, kept it there, went around for the Von Flu, put their shoulder, and I tapped, but I almost went out. So you got to be careful with that one.
So there you go. One of my other female friends, she is also a purple belt. She is asking, what is your takedown strategy in the competition?
Hi. You said other purple belt. Very cool. My takedown strategy in competition.
She will be on live with me. I think around Monday or something. She will be live.
Oh, cool.
So
that's
you can
so
join
awesome.
back that time.
So cool. Hi, the years. At the very beginning, I go back and forth. Very, very beginning, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to do takedowns. I'm not pulling guard. Someone got in my head one time about how that was like pulling guard was not a good thing to do. And that's silly. You can have your favorites. You can pull guard. It's a sport. And you can do either. But my very first takedown attempts were collar drags with gi. I would try to really work on pulling and yanking down my opponent, because sometimes I found that I would really yank them to the ground and kind of almost automatically take their back. My second favorite is the duck under. So I would do my hand fighting, and I would know which side. I have a favorite side, doesn't everybody? And I would, as I pulled up on their arm, duck my head and take their back. That's happened if you hit it just right. That's been a favorite of mine. And then my third one I'd have to say is the arm drag. I know that's a common one, but I love the arm drag. I constantly use it. You take people off. If you try it right away, you kind of get them off balance. Even if you don't quite get it, then you can go into something else. So yeah, so those are my gi ones. And then for no gi, I really sometimes try to go straight for guillotine, which I know is a little dirty, but I like that one. And then you can go into a straight headlock. So yeah, those are my takedowns. But honestly, if I know someone's good at takedowns and they're really strong, I am confident in my guard to pull guard into my favorite guard. You don't want to just sit down. And I'm sure you know that, being a higher level, but for everyone else, like, you don't just want to walk into a competition and sit down. So I really try to get my grips, even if it's no-gi, grab their hand, grab their collar, and then sit. And I try to get into X guard because I like my X guard sweep. So that's my takedown strategies.
Okay, so there are some more questions. Kelsey, listen, due to Instagram time restriction, video will
done to me very often. So I'll be honest with you, I really just haven't. I don't know how to answer because I haven't had that experience. So
I don't know who's doing cartwheel pass to them. So
yeah, I have seen it. There's a friend of mine at my gym, and he loves it. He's very good at it. So I've had it done a few times, but I think I just try to maybe shrimp away, try to create distance. That'd be my guess for you.
yeah.
So yeah, try to create distance, but no, I haven't had enough experience with a cartwheel pass to answer, but I'm sure someone on YouTube has.
So that's cool. That's cool. So
Yeah, sorry I messed up your guys' workout. I wasn't aware. That's totally my fault. But I'm glad I got to answer questions. I was ill prepared for the technology this morning, but oh, one more question. Oh, as a beginner, how often should I roll? I might be the wrong person to ask because when I was a beginner, I was thrown to the wolves and I rolled all the time. I rolled and I tapped and I tapped and I tapped. I mean, I would say take your time. Definitely take your time. How you feel. If you're, don't burn yourself out. But I don't think there should be a restriction. I mean, I think certain moves, like, which I'm sure with your school, there's probably, leg locks and whatnot. But other than being careful and listening to your training partners and your coaches, I think you should roll, as often as you want. Each class, maybe take it slow at first, and if you're doing well and you're really enjoying it, up it each time. My school, we roll at the end. And I would just try to do my best. Like I was saying earlier, try to breathe, try to focus on just one thing, not being overwhelmed. You're going to be defensive the whole first year. I mean, you'll start getting better. You'll start noticing little changes in your body to where you're like, oh, I'm actually getting this, or this, I remember to do something. But really, as a beginner, you're just gonna be defending yourself. You're gonna be learning. You're still new. You're gonna tap all the time. I still tap all the time. So don't be discouraged. But yeah, roll as often as you want. Roll all the time. Listen to your body. But yeah, that would be my answer.
Okay, so next question was on Facebook from, again, one of my female students. She's asking, like, at what age you started doing jiu-jitsu?
Oh, okay. So I wish I would have started a lot younger, but I actually started at 26.
We all have that regret.
So,
don't worry about that.
Huh?
I said we all have that regret. Don't worry about that.
I know,
that we should
all
have
that
started
regret,
sooner.
all that regret. But yes, I started at 26. I did stand-up boxing, Muay Thai before for about a year. So I think I might have been 25 when I was introduced to it. And yeah, I just turned 31 this year. So it's I've been doing it about 5 years. So
That's cool. So there is one more question. It came like, have you ever practiced judo or wrestling just to incorporate with your jiu-jitsu?
I have. And start at 40. No worries. Yeah, I think so. I'll combine those two questions because, well, that wasn't a question, but starting at 40, I think it doesn't matter. Starting from 3 years old to, we have a man in our class that's in his late 50s, maybe early 60s. And there's a lady that's not at my gym, but she is 74 and she's a blue belt and she kicks butt. So she does competitions. Amazing. She does competitions and it's just incredible. So yes, that wasn't a question, but I wanted to say that. And then the answer to Facebook is I did do wrestling. My coach my instructor at my school, he wrestled, and he's a good wrestler, and he really implements wrestling into his jiu-jitsu. So I have tried to learn. I'm not very good at it. I practice this all the time, but I try to do single legs, double legs. I'm not as confident with that, but I have practiced, and I do practice. I think more than actually doing a takedown has been my confidence with my hand fighting, my collar ties, my arm drags, my even just the grips and breaking grips. That has what's really pushed my wrestling to another level. As for wrestling by itself, like I didn't do that as a sport. I don't know that sport. I don't know like the rule. I mean, I know kind of, but judo on the other hand, a lot of our instructors implement a lot of judo into our classes. So we'll start certain lessons. We have a curriculum, and it keeps, going over and over because there's so much to cover. I mean, jiu-jitsu is like becoming a doctor, really. It's like you have so much to learn. There's so much, even black belts, they're continuously learning. So the judo, while I'm not belted in it. I don't know a lot. I have small bits of judo in my jiu-jitsu. So I do like it. I don't like it as much as jiu-jitsu, but I think it's very cool. And I think that if you are able to combine those three, absolutely do that. And in fact, I'll even throw in there and say combining Muay Thai and boxing, because that's also for self-defense has given me confidence and being able to handle myself given a confrontation. Luckily, I haven't had any situation like that occur, but yeah, combining all martial arts, man, that's where it's at.
Yeah, that's true, because it helps a lot. Any kind of grappling sports, if you can incorporate that with your jiu-jitsu, definitely helps.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And so, in the Corona situation, we came to know already that you are doing some workouts and practicing some techniques online and all. But in the rest of time, how are you passing your time? Like, what are your favorite things to do in the rest of the time?
Oh,
Most
right.
of us
No,
know, but some of them just joined, so I just repeated the question.
Yeah. No, some just joined. Hi. So yeah, we've all been talking about jiu-jitsu, but a little bit about me. Apart from Corona, which I know that's such a crazy time right now, but I really enjoy being outside. Obviously, you can look at my photography account with my husband. We obviously are very passionate about taking photos. So we really like that. So we're always outdoors. We like to hike, backpack, camp. We really like the primitive camping. So we've been like on the Appalachian Trail. We try to hit up some of the beautiful places, like traveling and exploring kind of off the beaten path, odd places to go into. And so there's that. Big into food. I know everyone always says that, but we're always trying to find the best pizza place. Big pizza fan. Anytime we travel, we try to find. However, my husband is half Indian. His my last name is Singh. And we love Indian food. Yeah, we'd love to. We've always talked about going to India. His family's from Jamshedpur, which I'm sure I mispronounced that, but we'd love to visit sometime. And yeah, so sure. I know it's very hard. It's a very long trip. We're from Virginia in the United States, but maybe one day. Flights are probably going to be cheap next year, so maybe next year.
Yeah, hopefully.
So yeah, we do enjoy that, and we golf, ride our bike. It's really anything outdoors. We just love outdoors and traveling. So
That's cool.
Yeah. Also did boxing. Yeah, boxing and jiu-jitsu. That's what I did too. I enjoyed both, and every so often I'll throw my gloves on and hit. And now that's a workout. If you hadn't done that in a while, holy cow. But
so
yeah.
that's cool, and we really had fun answering questions. So again, any last few words you wanted to say to our Indian crowd about the situation, Corona and all,
man.
and
just
Jiu-Jitsu as in general.
and just in general, I mean, everyone, we're all in this crazy time. I keep telling, at the very beginning, I was talking about everyone just doing their best and trying to stay positive. And I know that's hard. I know that's hard when so many people are unfortunately not, making it through this. And United States right now, I'm sure it's just all over the place. So really trying to be motivated is difficult. And I find that the sitting and trying to keep myself busy, but in positive ways. Like, this is awesome. I didn't know he was doing this until like last week or something. And while I was telling him I do a lot of Zoom classes that I would, try to join, and he kicked my butt. I'm not lying about that. That was, he said it wasn't even a hard class, but trying to really stay connected with people. I mean, that's what it's about right now. We're trying to make some positive out of this and try to keep it together as much as we can. So, bye, and thank you for coming and helping us. No, you're so welcome. And I wish that, given a different circumstance, I would be able to help more. Even if I had a grappling dummy. I actually don't have a lot here. I should get a grappling dummy, or maybe I can visit your gym if I ever come to India.
Sure,
What
you're
part of
always
India?
welcome.
What part of India? I'm sure everyone is. We had someone from
Next to
Italy.
New
We've
Delhi,
had some people.
Gurgaon. Next to New Delhi, Gurgaon.
Oh, next to New Delhi. Okay. So I knew I'd only know some of the bigger cities, but if it's close, it's near.
He's my
Cool.
student. He's from my gym, so you're
Oh
always
yeah.
welcome.
Oh, you're North India. Oh, you're so welcome. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
So, okay, so tomorrow, Shanji, already Shanji will be joining me.
That is awesome. I have to, before I go, because I do have to go, I have to tell you something. I went on a jiu-jitsu cruise with Shanji. He is amazing. We actually know each other. I mean, he might not, he'd probably remember if he saw a picture, but we did classes in private, not privates, but a cruise, and they did lessons there, and he was one of the instructors. He is unbelievable. His pressure, his diamond, oh my gosh. He's really awesome. So you guys, that's really cool.
So
I saw that and I was like, what?
Anything you want to say or ask to him tomorrow? Like, you can choose
Oh
any
my
question.
gosh.
Doesn't matter to me. Anything.
I
I'll
should
ask
tell
him for
him
you.
that his side control escape, his I'll have to write it down, I can send it to you, but man, his diamond, he's always talking about his the pressure and the to elongate in side control, always make distance and room. I'll have to think I'm put on the spot. I'll have to think about a good one, but he's amazing. Yeah.
Cool.
It
I
was
hope
really
you will
that's
join tomorrow.
yeah, I'll be traveling part of tomorrow, so I'll have to see, but that'd be really cool. I might hop on. I'm serious. That's really awesome. He's great.
So, Kelsey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for giving us your precious time, your valuable information and all.
No, you're welcome. Of
And
course.
I hope you guys stay safe. And guys, for all our Indian crowds, guys, keep practicing, stay safe at home, take care of your family, your friends, your parents, and all. Guys, have fun, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
Yes, have a good
So
day or
yeah,
nighttime,
you
right?
too.
Have a good night.
It's night here. It's evening already, 7 p.m., 7:30.
Oh,
So
it's only 9:50. All right. Have a good
yeah.
night.